Put your hands together and keep them together for a very long time, because it's right all the way over there. Please put your hands together for Dave Hempshall! Yay! A very funny man.
My cranium is lined with plutonium, the heaviest metal in the periodic table, although technically the densest is actually osmium, and I think that's what my stomach is lined with. Or maybe iridium, a beautiful transitional metal that when heated becomes technicolor. One eye open, blurry. Try again. The other eye clear, blurry, clear, blurry, clear, clear, blurry. Oh dear, slept with the contacts in again last night. Good eye scans the room before the next in the right flat. But what's happened to my trousers? Like treacle, memory trickles. A few drinks after work, no food, tequila slammers, black sambucas, golden ringlets, a summer dress, beautiful smile, laughing, attentive. Oh my days, Solanis was right. It is ironic, meeting the girl of your dreams and stealing her Marlboro lights. Onto a club and things get leery. Everybody's looking at us and it's all a bit starey. I don't care because I'm lost in the beat, throwing shapes, I've got the moves like Jagger, I'm sexy and I know it. Not a nightclub, a private party. We crashed it, we didn't care, the bar was free, we were on the JD. Not just any party, my boss's party. Oh, stuff her, then we got stuffed, sausages on sticks, quiche, those little bits of rolled up bread with the cream cheese in the middle. It was her wedding reception. Hence the hostile glances, the stariness, the lariness and the glariness. Awkward. Spinning round to Cotton Eye Joe, party foods and shots return with a vengeance. Where did it come from? Where did it go? Mostly over my trousers. Grabbed by 3 men each, we were ceremoniously marched up 2 flights of stairs and thrown onto the prom with a reverberating, pounding, need to look for a new job on Monday. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. This one is a psychogeographic vignette, or if you like, it's another poem about boozing. A couple of years ago, I went out for my Christmas do, and it was cancelled at the last minute, so I went out anyway, and this is the result. It's got a couple of boozers that are sadly no longer with us. Tub thumping, teen moshing grunge muppets. Dog on the dance floor and the grottiest toilets in Christendom. Observe decadence. Observe multi-storey car park chic. Observe filth. Observe yourself. Observe the absurd. Savour the subcontinent. Unleash the cobra and descend the castle's hill. Inked twilight. Tattoos move. Black t-shirts immortal. Bikers collide in decibel heatwave. Raise the standard, pressed flesh, meaty, jumping, white, scar, dark, star, rough trade forgiven, blissed out, old school moves, hands in the air, hug, bruisers, antisocial social club, after pub, snotty yacht club, find a kindred spirit, discuss UK subs. Yeah. This next poem is also about drinking. I actually found this poem recently. I found it in a notebook, and it was about 20 years ago that I wrote this poem. And I was fascinated by the voice and the style that I had then. It's completely different to how I write now. It was when I was freelancing in Spain for a local expat magazine, and many young men have fantasies about meeting an older woman, and then over one sultry summer she makes them a man. Well, I met an older woman, and over one sultry summer she made me a pot noodle. The town where I stayed actually had two expat bars, and they were both owned by Irishmen. They absolutely hated each other. One bar was called the Harp, and the other was Mr. Smith's Jazz Bar. And it was a jazz bar upstairs, and then in the cellar they had Costa del Sol's finest S&M and fetish bar. And it was written in the height of the 90s, when Laddism was at its height. I make no excuse for that, and also it's completely true. It's called Royce the Horse. Royce was a horse, unemployed was he, after what we all want, sun and sand and sea. He counted all his money that he'd saved from the dole, bought a beautiful shiny ticket, and flew to the Costa del Sol. Now Royce was scared of flying, for a smooth flight he'd hoped, so he filled his nose bag with mogadon and grass, so when he got on the plane he was well and truly doped. He sat next to a mouthy car dealer who went by the name of Birdie. Now Royce drank all the vodka, and Birdie drank the gin. With Birdie's constant patter and Royce the horse's neighing, they frightened all the passengers by causing such a din. When the flight crew's call for calm was met with an icy glare, there was nothing to be done except eviction in mid-air. And as they were dropping through the clouds, Birdie tried to sell Royce a car, but they came to an abrupt place where they landed, a strange place called Mr. Smith's Piano Bar. "What's all this?" yelled Mr. Smith's. "Do you think that I'm a clown? You're my prisoners now," he laughed. "I hope you take it lying down." Well, man and horse caused such a fuss trying to flee the dark. They shouted and neighed for days and days, when finally they were heard by a couple getting pissed in the harp. "What's that?" slurred Dave after his 18th triple gin. "Bloody noisy Spaniards," replied a sunburnt Jolie. "Sounds like a horse and our lost companion Birdie." "Ah, be Jesus," said the barman. "What a load of baloney," said Wood. But Dave and Joni drank some more, but she grew sick of the sound. They followed the sound to the rubber bar and were astonished by what they found. They couldn't quite believe it, but this is what they saw. Their friend Birdie and a horse tied up on the floor. Man and horse were in a terrible state. It really was quite dire. "Help me, please," cried Birdie. "I've got a burning ring of fire." And poor old Royce was a broken horse, but in Decaveca, see, it's a bit of Spanish there. One thing he found was for the rest of his days, he was going to stay well and truly on the ground. Thank you. I'm not going to do any Trump Brexit poems today because politics is so depressing at the moment. So you just got to put up with one about the substance misuse and bestiality. So there was a bit of probably I think it was from when I last read that, there was a sort of bit of prejudice. There was a sort of vein of prejudice there because it was written at the height of the sort of loaded and fast show culture. So there's a bit of that present. But I was talking, my wife and I were talking to my 9-year-old son and about prejudice, and so I said I'd write a poem about it, and this is it. As a child, I hated people whose upper ears were fat and fleshy. These people weren't like us. They were unlike us. They were smelly poo-poo heads. They were the kids who lived in the flats. They were like the cub from the other pack, the one with the white curly hair. Weird. Not like us. And from First Lewis, purple scarves, and the top of his ears were fat and fleshy. Not like us. I liked Karen. We talked. We laughed. We created our own poems, our own world. She sat closer to me every day. One day, I whispered a secret. She parted her chocolatey locks to reveal upper ears that were fat and fleshy. In that instant, she wasn't like us. And her mum was too thin and wore a pale yellow t-shirt. I avoided Karen. Hung out with Julia, who had thin upper ears. My life was divided into thin and fat upper ears. Mr. T was cool, but Knight Rider was a woolly bumhead. Happy with this worldview, I marched on, choosing who I liked based on ear width. Then, my mother got a perm, showing her fat and fleshy upper ears. Rushing to my brother who was cutting up the fox in socks, I grabbed the book and observed with disgust fat and fleshy upper ears. With blood terrapinning to my bodily outer limits, I studied myself in the bathroom mirror with a precision I had never used to reveal rubiform, fat and fleshy upper ears. I realised that I had been judging others on an arbitrary bodily feature that was essential to that person and made them who they were. My beliefs had been based on an illogical premise. What a silly Billy. I grew mature in an instant. Now I understood the world. Knight Rider was cool, and Mr. T was a thin-eared fool. Thank you. I told my son I was going to read this poem tonight, and he looked very serious, and he said, "What about if there's people in the audience who have fat upper ears?" Sometime sort of earlier this year, I was actually very honoured to be asked to perform the Love Hastings, Love Yourself event for the World Mental Health Day. And unfortunately I caught poet flu, so I couldn't attend it. So this poem is one I wrote, and it requires a bit of audience participation. So I'm going to pass the microphone around, and you can tell us all your deepest and darkest fantasies. So actually, no, it's not that. Actually, that reminds me. How many Freudians did it take to change a light bulb? Two, actually. One to change the bulb, and the other to hold the ladder. No, all you have to do is shout the central refrain, which is Love Hastings, okay? So, on the count of three, so Love Hastings, that's all you have to do. So, 1, 2, 3.
Love Hastings!
Love beachside firesides. Love Hastings!
Love Hastings!
Love washed up dogfish. Love Hastings!
Love Hastings!
Love the earliest underground car park in Europe.
Love Hastings!
Love half man, all hipster. Love Hastings!
Love Hastings!
Love Fat Tuesday groovers. Love Hastings!
Love Hastings!
Love chip nicking seagulls. Love Hastings!
Love Hastings!
Love tiny trains. Love Hastings!
Love Hastings!
Hate Brighton. Love painting yourself green.
Love Hastings!
Love romanticised portrayals of ruthless murderers as quaint eye-patch roads. Love
Hastings!
Love hills.
Love Hastings!
Love lifts.
Love Hastings!
Love yourselves.
Love Hastings!
This next poem I'm going to perform is entirely of my own composition, and if anyone says it's not, well, quite frankly, I'm disappointed in you. It's called Zombie Nation. Zombie Nation. Your name's not down, you're not coming in. We've got to change this world to a world of love. That's where I want to be. Everybody in the place, we're going to live in sweet harmony. Come on, take me into insanity. I'll take your mind to another dimension. No valley too deep, no mountain too high, no limits. We'll reach for the sky so strong we keep coming on. Free the mind, let it rise above, 'cause you ride on time behind the movie scenes, but back once again with the ill behaviour. Every time I see you, you're up to no good. Nothing but the versatile charmer. I'm so tired of playing with this bow and arrow injected with a poison. We don't need this anymore. I've got nothing to do than to hypnotise you, so open up your ears and close your eyes. Honey, bring it close to my lips. I've got sunshine in a bag. This is the rhythm of the night. Thank you. Rather disconcertingly, this poem is actually composed mainly on a rather long and hot motorcycle journey. It's called, well, I'll tell you what it's called. Work it out for yourself. And it's the central refrain. I filter past a line of fuming metal, front of the queue, ignore the fuming drivers, green and I'm away, throttle pinned, keeping it in second so she screams like a race bike, climbing through the revs, climbing through the tree tunnels, then a right-hander, smoother than green and black, 75% pure with added cocoa nibs, complete focus, completely alone. This is where I go to heal my hurts, then the magical number, hearing the voice of a long-lost biker buddy, 9,500 RPM, I've hit set coordinates for Alderaan and I've hit hyperdrive, man and machine homeostatic, but I didn't put it on Facebook. He came into the world scrunched rubber, face puckered, eyes wide open to the world, staring, unblinking in the light. We held him, didn't want to let him go. We held his foot in our hands, bright, pink, wrinkled, brain-like, took a picture to show relatives, but we didn't put it on Facebook. You made me suffer sublime. You took the time. You created variations of chickpea, the taste reawakened, long Cretan child hoons, Cretan beaches, but I didn't put it on Facebook. I should never have said that thing about his cousin's stepmother's half-brother. Our friends had to separate it. It was a Lewis thing, but we made up. We're okay now because we didn't put it on Facebook. Yes, it's terrible that people kick donkeys, but I don't want to see it on Facebook. Yes, I remember Button Moon and Mr. Claypole, but I'm not going to say so on Facebook. I have never managed to operate the taps in the gents at the Stade. Didn't put it on Facebook. The time I accidentally wore a blouse to work, didn't put it on Facebook. Approaching a village, popping off the throttle, down 3 gears like Chewie has reversed thrusters. A beautiful, long-haired ginger Tom is being stroked by a man who looks like Mr. Bronson from Grange Hill. Now that I put on Facebook. This is my last poem, and it's great. Actually, it's great. All the different slammers here. You've been absolutely fantastic. It's really good vibe being here in the slam dunk as ever. Of course, so we feel it's really exciting. Performance poetry seems to be really exciting at the moment, and of course there are some people who still labour under the gross misapprehension that poetry is just like the cat sat on the mat. So. And when people say that to me, I say, I saw the best cats of my generation destroyed by catnip, rolling frantically, clawing at imagined sparrows, who, like seraphim, floated on the fences and walls of Lower Bohemia, while lusting for Felix, but tasting only the dry disappointment of Audi Vitacat, brutalised by the grey and white Tom, who in his time was brutalised, who ran back, wide-eyed and flat-eared from the outer edges of Alexandra Park, bearing the bite marks of a squirrel, and who crouched beatifically on Berber rugs smuggled back from Tangier. Or, sometimes I say, 3 white kittens sit on a slit of Hessian fur like Coney Island cotton candy. 3 white kittens scratch and spit, paws infected with pus. 3 white kittens abandoned by daddy, Stormborn Führer, how could you betray us? Or sometimes, Felis domesticus, I love that stuff. A resting position where the torso is more or less upright, I love that stuff. A piece of coarse, woven, plaited or felted fabric used especially as a floor covering, man, I love that stuff. Or sometimes, or outside sway fecund corn and sallow briar. The dun tabby rests a while beneath the old coat fire. Or, that fucking pussy stole all of my smack. Look at him lying back on the mat like that. That fucking pussy stole all of my smack. Or, there once was a strange little cat who was particular about where he sat. He performed at slam dunk, got him terribly drunk, then boom, remembered he'd been sick on the mat. Thank you.